Well, hello and welcome back to sixth grade math class. You will notice in front of your screen lesson 5.4, which we talked about the other day about distributive property. If you remember, distributive property is where we take the integer or whatever is here in front of the parentheses and we distribute it. And if you remember, we kind of used arrows, and those arrows were supposed to remind us that that meant we were going to multiply. Okay, so this should already be finished on our paper. And we did this and this. When we came down here to do some of the problems, we ended up having 3 terms. So if you remember here, when we did 7 times 2, we had 14. We had 7 times 6, that's 42. And then over here, we had 7 times 4D, and then we had a 4D. And what we had to do is we had to combine what we would call like terms. And so today we're going to move down to the bottom of our notes, and that's exactly what we're going to do is we're going to look at like terms. When I do the like terms lesson, a lot of times I like to use different colors. So if you have any colored pencils or crayons or something like that that you would like to use, that would be very helpful. So it says here, in an algebraic expression, like terms are terms that have the same variables raised to the same exponents. Constant terms are also like terms. So first of all, let's do a little review here. Here's my first algebraic expression. I have 5x plus 2x plus 2 plus 19. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. I have 2 constants. A coefficient, if you remember, is the number that's in front of the variable. We have a 5 and a 2. Well, like terms, as you read the directions, have the same variables. And so what I would do is I would first look and I'd say, oh, I see some that have an x. Well, here's a 5x, and here's a 2x. Now, I always circle the sign in front of the term. So I have here 5x plus 2x. So 5x plus 2x is going to give me 7x. Now I have some constants, and if you notice, the constants are also considered like terms. They are just numbers. So I can combine those two, and that would be 2 plus 19, which would give me 21. These are like terms. So let's kind of practice this here. So let's look at example 2. Example 2 says combining like terms. Combining means we're going to put them together. Well, let's see. My first color I'm going to use, I see some x's. I see here is a 3x, and I see here a 2x. Those are like terms. So if I have a 3x, and if you remember, we have to use the sign that's in front. So it says plus. So I'm going to say 3x plus 2x. Well, that's going to give me 5x. So I've finished with my x's. Now I'm going to look, and it looks like here I have some constants. I have 9 and 5. Now, if you notice, the 9 is considered a positive 9 because it has a plus in front of it. So we have 9. Oh, the sign in front of the 5 says minus 5. So 9 minus 5 would be 4. Now, because it's a positive, we're going to leave it 5x plus 4 because 9 minus 5 is 4. We combined our x's. We combined our constants. All right, let's look at this one. Looks like every single term, all 3 are y's. So those are all like terms. In front of this y is a coefficient. It's a very hidden number 1. We don't write a number 1 in front of it because we can see that it's 1. So if this is 1y, 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 and they're all pluses, 1y plus 1y plus 1y makes a total of 3 y's. Sample C. Oh, sample C we can't do yet until we do what we did yesterday, and that's called the distributive property. So first of all, I have to do 7z plus, now we're going to make our arrow. That means 2 times z minus, there's a minus, take my arrow again, 2 times 5y. All right, well, now let's simplify what we did yesterday. This is already simplified. 7z. 2 times z is 2z. minus 2 times 5y would be 10y. All right, now we're going to look at our problem, and we're going to see if we have any like terms. I see here a z and a z. Those are the same. So if I would have 7 z's plus 2 z's, that makes a total of 9z. This is the only y I have. There are no other y's, so I'm just going to bring it down and say my answer is 9z minus 10y. Now, I know for some of you this is a little confusing, and that's why we're going to continue practicing. The first day is always kind of hard and challenging, so just make sure you are following along and continue writing. We're going to go ahead and turn over to the back side. All right, so we're going to do a couple more problems here together. If we notice, let's see, any like terms. Oh, this is a z, and that's a z. So we're going to put those two together. Well, let's see. This is a positive 3. 3z minus, oh, don't forget about the hidden 1. 3z minus 1z would be 2z's. These are gone. And all I have left is 8. So my answer would be 2z plus 8. Now we know that addition is commutative, so we could have swapped the two of them and put 8 plus 2z. But when you go on to the middle school and the high school, they're always going to like the term with the variable to be first and the constant to be last. All right, let's look at this last sample problem. Oh, looks like we can't solve it until we do our distributive property. Make our arrow. The arrow tells me to do 3 times b. I have a plus. Make another arrow, 3 times 5. So now I have to write 3 times 5. Now I get to copy everything else down, plus b and plus 2. All right, let's see. Let's simplify. 3 times b is 3b. 3 times 5 is 15. Then we have a regular b and a constant 2. Now we're going to look for our like terms. Let's see. I have a b and a b. Okay, let's look. 3b plus 1b is 4 b's. My b's are gone. Now I have another, I have constants. 15 plus 2. 15 plus 2 is 17. My final answer is 4b plus 17. All right, now we're going to look at a story problem and see if we can use the skills we've learned about combining like terms, writing expressions, and distributive property to solve this together. All right, let's read the problem. It says Jose is X years old. That's kind of important. His brother Felipe is 2 years older than Jose. Their Aunt Maria is 3 times as old as Felipe. Write and simplify an expression that represents Maria's age. Okay, well, the first thing I have to do is I have to look at Jose. So we're going to write Jose. Jose is X years old, so this is what Jose is. We don't know how old he is. Whatever number the variable X represents. His brother, so let's write his brother's name. Felipe is 2 years older than Jose. So if he's 2 years older, that means we have to add 2. So let's write here, Felipe is X plus 2. Okay, so Jose is X. Felipe is X plus 2. So for example, if Jose was 5, Felipe would be 5 plus 2 would be 7. All right, let's do Maria. See if we can solve Maria now. Maria is 3 times. 3 times as old as who? 3 times old as Felipe. So if Felipe is X plus 2, we have to take that and multiply that times 3. That looks very similar to the distributive property that we did. So it says write and simplify an expression that represents Maria's age. Well, the expression we wrote is 3 times X plus 2. Now it says we need to simplify that, right? So now we're going to do our arrows. 3 times X. Do our arrow. Plus 3 times 2. Simplify. 3 times X is 3X. And 3 times 2 is 6. So it looks like here Maria's expression would be 3x plus 6. Very good. All right, we're going to do one more story problem before we stop for today. All right, let's read it. You purchase a remote controlled drone for $D. Okay, so this is you. You purchase the drone for $D. Your friend purchases a drone that costs $35 more than yours. Your brother purchases a drone that costs 3 times as much as your friend's drone. Write and simplify an expression that represents the cost in dollars of your brother. All right, this looks very similar to the one we just did. Okay, so the first sentence again says, you purchase a remote-controlled drone for $D. So let's write you, and you pay $D. $10, $15, $100, we don't know. The next one says, your friend purchases a drone that costs $35 more than your drone. All right, so let's write the word friend. And the friend says 35 more than. Oh, we know more than means this. Right, more than. 35 more than yours. Well, yours was D. All right, so our friend is D. Oh, no, I'm sorry, we're D. Our friend is D plus 35. The last person it looks like we have here is brother. And it says the brother. Your brother purchases a drone that costs, oh, look, once again, it's 3 times. 3 times as much as your friends. So we're going to put our friends like this. This is our friend. And our brother is 3 times as much as this. This looks very similar to the one we just did. 3 times my brother. Now we simplify with our arrows. 3 times D plus 3 times 35. Okay, 3 times D is 3D. And 3 times 35, well, let's just go over here to make sure we do this correctly. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. So we have 105. So our final answer for our brother is the expression 3D plus 105. Okay, go ahead and hold on to this, put this in your math folder, and follow the directions of your teacher when you are finished.